I'm Brett Daniels with the College Football Playoff and like to welcome everyone to the CFP National Championship Head Coaches Conference call here today. Joining us obviously is Coach Cristobal at the University of Miami. Coach is going to make an opening comment there and then take some questions from the room. In a few minutes, we'll begin taking questions from the Zoom side of this. So if you do have a question, raise your hand and we will call on you and unmute your mic when the time is appropriate. Coach, I'll turn it over to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Again, thank you for being here. Appreciate everyone, and certainly proud of our football team for battling hard against an excellent Ole Miss squad, and certainly a lot of credit to them, but credit to our guys for finding a way to be 1-0 and earning ourselves another opportunity this coming a week from today, Monday. So, with that being said, questions, please.
If you do have a question for Coach Cristobal, if you could please state your name and media outlet. We'll go right into questions in the room first before turning it over to Zoom. Will Mantle, go ahead.
Coach Will Mantle, WPLG TV. Coach, I'm curious, you've gotten in this routine the last few weeks, knowing you're going to take a flight on the road, play a do or die game. How does it change when that game is at home, the routine of it, the pattern, the structure as you prepare for this game?
The routine doesn't change at all. It's almost identical because you do have to check into a hotel, a specific hotel on a specific date. The only thing that changes is that classes have started. And we have, I believe, 28 new members, 28 of the 29, 29 of the 30 new members of our team here practicing with us, which is great for us. As the year goes on, we've lost some guys to injury, and they've been able to get a glimpse of what preparation is like. But aside from that and preparing for a game, nothing changes.
All right, Tim Reynolds with the AP. Two things, if I may. One, can you sort of just update us on probably where you guys are from an injury standpoint? And two, kind of along the lines of Will's question, how do you ensure that your team doesn't have an exhale? Like, okay, you're in the final, you're back at Hard Rock. How do you keep that edge?
Well, from an injury standpoint, I believe we're coming out a lot like we went into last game. I know a couple guys skimped out of the game. Mesdor's in great condition. He hurt his elbow for a second, and he's already full throttle. Ahmad Moten was full throttle today. What was the other one? I know OJ came out. Lofton would be the one that's in question. That would be the one that was in question. But aside from that, I actually feel really good about the rest.
Or yeah, Adam with Defeat Sunset. Just to follow up on that, I think you guys even mentioned OJ and potentially Damari Brown. I know he's been working his way back throughout the playoffs.
Sure. I would say OJ is good to go, and Damari Brown will still be day by day.
Mario, Jordan Pierce, Miami Herald. We've talked so much about the alumni on the sideline and the support you made there, but from the university standpoint, Joe Chabria being on the sideline, him and Dan Radakovich being in lockstep, just how important is that in this day and age for the university side and the athletic side to sort of be going hand in hand with things? And what have you seen from that and how much that's helped the program develop?
Well, that's everything as it relates to putting together a program, whether it's rebuilding one or sustaining one. Vertical alignment is at the forefront of making a decision to go to a place or staying at a place. Without that, it doesn't work because the investment from a people standpoint, a time standpoint, a money standpoint is immense. And unless everybody is going in the same direction, it doesn't work no matter how much time and effort you put into it. So we're extremely blessed to have someone like Joe heading up the university. And of course, Dan Radakovich has done a great job. So we grind, and again, very appreciative of them and all they do.
Coach Mike Munoz, CBS Miami. With you guys coming home to play in this game, it's a two-part question. There's a lot of obvious family connections here, whether kids played at Central or Chaminade or whatever local high school. There's gonna be a lot of that family stuff around here. How special is it for local kids on your team, and then of course for you as well, a lot of Columbus representation on both sides coming into this game?
I mean, it's always special when you get to play with or against guys that you know or knew growing up, competed against, played on the same teams with. So I mean, at the end of the day, your preparation doesn't change. Your intensity is always driven up the closer and closer you get to game time and as you go deeper into the season. But I mean, we all know the brand of football played down here in South Florida is special, and it shows up year in and year out at every level, right? College and pro, certainly at the high school level. So certainly an exciting time for South Florida.
Coach David Lake with Inside the U. Overall, playing a home game for a national championship is a good thing. but with that can come potential distractions,
Mhm.
et cetera. I'm curious, like, how do you preach to your team about, not allowing those distractions to creep in?
Sure. Well, I mean, there aren't really distractions. You either create them or you don't, right? It's on people. And so we get out ahead of that, right? That's one of the stronger, I would say, points of emphasis as you begin the week. Distractions and things and people have never been a part of the journey. You can't let them become a part of it now. I mean, from the simplicity of getting an email to parents as to, hey, take care of tickets by tomorrow because we don't want your sons running around and trying to figure other things out. They already have school, right? We have to prepare for an awesome opportunity. We preach it, we teach it, and then we go and we get away from everybody, just like we did a couple of weeks ago, the last couple of weeks when we went on the road. And that's where I know the process was asked about earlier. It's no different. You just got to shut out the outside world and go to work.
Practices still be here?
They will. And that's awesome for us, especially again with the start of school. So, but we will be practicing right here.
Middle of the room.
Super stock with inside you. Can you put it in word why you think this team has been able to make a run to get to this point? Why you think they've been able to accomplish what they've accomplished thus far?
Oh, I think it's a process and a recipe that has stood the test of time. I think hard work, great people, getting after it relentlessly. I think that's an undefeated combination as it relates to progress and, you know, advancement and eventually success. So I think it's a tribute to that, the people. Again, I have the fortune, the privilege of being up here in front of you guys and addressing questions, but it's not me, just me. There's so many people that are involved, and I think the collaboration of like-minded people, high achievers that are really driven to push forward a program to help these young men develop at the highest level on and off the field, a care factor that's through the roof, and a die-hard belief in the University of Miami, bleeding orange and green through all of us. I think that's what has really forged our progress forward as we continue to try to get better, and we certainly have a long ways to go.
Coach, we'll go to Donovan a couple rows back.
Coach Donovan Campbell, WSC in Miami. We always talk about building culture for every organization. Obviously, you built a culture here, but it seems like a lot of players are also grasping onto your characteristic of very cool, calm, and collective. Just talk about that a little bit, how your players are kind of embracing your mindset of being very cool, calm.
I think we're all very similar, we all love football, absolutely love it. We also understand the importance of being a good person and really embrace the concept of gratitude. In a day and age where things move fast, people move fast. Then we found out early on, in fact, it was a year to the day where this team first got together. And then a week from now, we get to play one last time together. And I think early on in that process, a year ago in January, this team started figuring out, everyone has hope in January, right? When you start the initial right process of a new season. But it was more than hope. I think we recognized early on this is a unique group of individuals and that the work ethic was through the roof. The appetite for the grind was legit and real. So I think because we're like that, because we don't mind getting pushed, because we're not easily offended, right? Correction and confrontation in a positive way, right? Truth telling is a staple of our program, and we appreciate that. We appreciate feedback and growth and development. I think that's what drives us, whether we completely agree on something, whether it's a perfect day or whether it's a challenging day. We all know that we're in it for the right reasons.
Gonna do two more in the room before I turn it over to Zoom and then come back. We'll start in the front here.
Mario, Adam Lipton from the Sun Sentinel again. Seems like Mark Fletcher's playing his best football since he's been here. Just what have you seen click for him or really work for him over the last month or so since the playoffs started?
Well, I think a couple of things. A good question. I think the fact that he's healthy, right? I think development. I think everybody wants to see a freshman knock it out the park right away, and it's not always the way it's supposed to be or the way it ends up happening. Like a guy that has been in a system in his third year that has seen similar schemes, that has run behind certain guys, that has seen certain calls against certain fronts, certain pressures. a guy that has protected against every blitz known to man, like day after day, year after year. Like there's nothing more valuable than the mother of all teaching and learning. That's the repetition. And Mark Fletcher has had hundreds and thousands of repetitions. And when you do that, and when you've been when you've been through what he's been through, um, it just means that much more, you know? And it shows in the way he approaches everything that he does. So I think the combination of all those things is what's showing up.
Around the room.
Mackenzie Eason, University of Miami TV, all over social media. I've been seeing a lot of the clips of the friendship that Malachi Tony and Mark Fletcher have. Can you talk about that friendship and how it influences the rest of the team?
Well, it's a strong friendship and one that also brings out the best in each other. I think that you're looking at two individuals that are highly motivated, super talented, that they were hurricanes forever, right? And they brought their mentality, their level of play, their drive, their motivation, and it's a lot of them has permeated the rooms, right? And their teammates, they look up to their teammates, and their teammates look up to them. They are just great ambassadors for the program, for their families. I mean, they're awesome, you know, and their impact is massive.
Brett, I'll turn it over to you to moderate some questions on Zoom.
Great. Thanks a lot, Cam.
Yep.
Uh,
Go ahead, Brett.
no, go ahead, Katie. You have it. Take it.
Fantastic. Chris Vanini, we'll start with you.
Yeah, Mario, I'm just kind of curious, what did you learn from your time as the head coach at FIU in terms of just being a head coach and what that entails and how it all played out there?
It's the ultimate experience in cutting your teeth on, I mean, you have to do everything when you take over a situation like that. I don't know how much of it is documented, but when you take over a program that I think hadn't won a game in almost 2 years, was going to make the jump from a lower division to Division One, and then litter the schedule with games against Miami, Florida, Arkansas, you name it, and also be served before even having a single practice, served with a 5-year probation, 17 ineligible players, and a contemporaneous penalty regarding the APR, which means any player that's not eligible per semester, you lose a scholarship. So I probably got more into this than you were hoping for. It's just the ultimate challenge, and you find out truly what you're made of. You find out who has your back. You start finding out everything that goes with college football, how the bursar's office works, how registration and academics and the department and supervision and RAs and recruiting budgets and travel, and you have to do everything, every single part of it. You have to be a coach, you have to be a CFO, CEO, a provost, you have to do it all. And so a tremendous blessing. And really the biggest blessing was the players and the people that we had there, because they were able to take what was historically the worst program in the country in a short period of time and actually win their first conference championship. And it was super rewarding. The Little Caesars Pizza Bowl, pretty cool.
And it was obviously when you got let go, a lot of people disagreed with that, and I'm sure you did as well. How did that kind of shape you as a coach as well?
You know, I'm pretty stubborn. Always have been stubborn. And in my mind, we're going to win a national championship there. And people would look at me like I was crazy. And sometimes if you don't move and God wants you to move, he'll kick you so you can move. And for whatever reason, that's the way it worked out. And it was a blessing because I had the opportunity to go learn under Coach Saban, and then eventually end up at the University of Oregon. Blessed to be there, and it all led back to here, to the University of Miami. So, you know, at the time, you can't see that. You can't see straight when something like that happens, especially when you invest every waking moment of your life into it. But I thank God that it did.
Great. We'll go next to Jeff Rabjohns. Jeff, if you don't mind stating your affiliation, we'd appreciate it.
Sure, Jeff Rabjohns, Pigs.com of the 24/7 Sports Network. I'm just curious, doing a story on the fact that you played with Fernando's dad. Any recollections of playing with him? Just kind of what was that like when you guys played together?
We went 6-4. We won the district championship in a three-way tiebreaker. They used to have a Kansas City tiebreaker down here in Dade County where you put the ball at the 10-yard line and flip a coin. It was us, Miami Beach, Coral Gables, Carlos Huerta, great Miami kicker, kicked the winning kick. We won the district title. We played number one South Ridge in the state championship. They had a couple Hurricanes on there, Robert Bailey and Herbert James. We punted. Robert Bailey fumbled the punt. He'll deny it, but he did. We recovered, worked the win and kicked the field goal, and we beat the number one team in the state. And then we lost the next week in sectionals to Carroll City, who was coached by Coach Walt Frazier, one of the best of all time to ever do it. Players like Rudy Barber, who was a teammate here. A couple guys, Cedric Bembry, may he rest in peace. Tim Paul, Godfrey Miles. Just an awesome time for Dade County football and just awesome memories.
And did you guys stay in touch, or did you guys?
I mean, not really. I think when you go to Columbus, that brotherhood is extremely strong. I mean, you see that everywhere you go, especially in town, you run it. But we have crossed paths before, and certainly he was an excellent football player and has become such a prominent member of the community down here in the medical field, and certainly all the respect in the world for him and his family.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that. Next, we'll go to Dana O'Neill.
Coach Signetti has talked a lot.
Sorry, Dana, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. Coach Signetti has talked a lot about the influence his father has had on him from a football perspective. I'm curious about the influence your father had on you, not from a football perspective, but just from a life perspective.
Yeah, well, mom and dad, that's pretty well. They worked two jobs, went to night school, learned the language. They came from Cuba. Um, couldn't ask for anything better in terms of parents. They were hard-nosed, they were tough. They made sure we understood the meaning of true work and to make absolutely zero excuses. They were absolutely relentless in their pursuit of just doing everything they could to provide for us. Um, I just couldn't ask for better parents. And then they handed us over to Dennis Lavelle, head coach at Columbus, and Fred Foya, who was the offensive line coach at Columbus. And they were the ones that helped to raise us and groom us into, the people that we are today. Forever grateful for them. I thought they were the best coaches and mentors ever. It's why I coach today, because of my high school coaches. Coach Lavelle he's everything to me. But my dad, Lewis Sr., hard-nosed, tough-ass son of a gun. That's what I know, and I'm forever grateful for him being hard on us and never gifted us anything, made us work for everything. And I thank God for that.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Jim Coyle. Jim, go ahead and unmute your line and state your affiliation, please.
Hi, Jim Coyle with Indiana Sports Beat Radio in Bloomington. Coach, earlier you talked about having played with with Fernando's dad. I'm going to talk about the irony of having his son not only win the Heisman, but be the quarterback that you're going to face in a national championship, having not only him and Alberto being from Miami and the same high school that you and his father played at.
And the question is, I'm sorry?
The irony of playing against Fernando, the son
Sure.
of a guy you played high school ball with, who won
Yes,
the
sir.
Heisman.
Yeah, football is awesome. It's almost that part of it coming full circle, watching his sons are great football players. Obviously, the Heisman was earned and well deserved. The type of season that Fernando has had, really, they've dominated just about every game. And anytime a game was close, he was a big reason why the outcome is or was what it was, because his level of play. And his younger brother is going to be as good or even better. And I think if you talk to the people over there at their university and at Columbus High School, they'll tell you that. Just really tough, smart, hardworking, awesome young men that represent their families and their university really well.
Go ahead. Yeah, I was just talking about the irony as well as having to play against him.
Right. Yes, sir.
Great. Next, we'll go to the line of Ed Graney. And Ed, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, I'm sorry to stay on this theme, but if there wasn't such close ties and you didn't know him as well as you do, if you just flipped on the film for the first time, what would you think about Fernando? Like, why is he special as a player?
I think he combines everything that you would want in an elite quarterback. He is he's ahead of the defense all the time. He's two steps ahead. He understands the back end, the front. He's extremely accurate, poised. He can make you pay with his feet. He can make you pay with his arm. He understands protections really well. He anticipates like no other. He really has distinguished himself as the best football player in the country this year. And it's not by accident. A lot of reps, a lot of hard work, a guy that has been a complete difference maker for their program.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Andrea Adelson. Andrea?
Mario, I was hoping to ask you a bigger picture question about the ACC because there are a lot of people throwing dirt on the conference earlier when they thought there was the potential to not get a team in. And with the postseason performance and your performance, I'm wondering if you think this might start changing narratives or perceptions about the ACC as a whole.
Okay. Yes, thank you. I believe the ACC is like 9-4 in postseason play this year. And I think a lot of the reasons why we have progressed is some of the teams that we have faced throughout the course of the season in our conference. The level of play from a quarterback standpoint, line of scrimmage standpoint, I think has proven itself in the postseason. And for us, it proved itself against us and made us a better team, in terms of making adjustments, increasing our level of physicality. And it's been a really, really good year for the conference. And if you look at the coaches that have been hired, the way the rosters are shaping up, both from a transfer portal standpoint and a high school recruiting standpoint, the conference is only going to get better and better. And we're certainly, appreciative of some of the just all the support that we have gotten from the ACC and looking forward to more great years to come.
Our last question from the Zoom room will come from Bill Bender. Bill, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, thanks for doing this.
Yes, sir.
In this new college football world, how valuable is the experience you have on this roster with 14 or 15 of your starters have 4 years or more? And then do you see this as like the right blend of portal and recruits, particularly in-state recruits?
Yes, sir. Well, appreciate the question. I mean, I know we talked about irony earlier. Ironically, we're playing against a team that is very much a veteran group, right? You're looking at, a lot of similarities in the sense of, players that have experience. Experience is irreplaceable. And for us, I think it's been a great blend because the portal pickups combined with the players that have been here for 3 and 4 years, again, it comes down to the fact that they're like-minded individuals and the young talent that we recruited, they are, from a DNA standpoint, they're hardworking guys that they're high achievers. So, and the way that we work here, the blueprint here, the regiment here, it's very demanding. And if that's not your thing, it's not going to work, you know? And so the fact that we had all these like-minded individuals from all over the place, I mean, we're as national as Miami has ever been from a roster standpoint, all positions. But again, it doesn't matter if you're from 1 mile away or 1,000 miles away. If you're made of the right stuff, you've got the right heart and the right mindset, it works. And the team is very evenly made up of all three of those, different buckets of talent. And the older guys have done a great job just doing, I would say, just bringing along, showing our younger guys what it's supposed to look like now, not later, but right now. And that's in terms of expediting their experience and their ability to contribute, they've been a huge part of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Coach. At this time, I'll turn it back over to Cameron. They're in the room for any final questions.
Do a couple more in the room before turning it off, but we'll go with David Lake in the front.
Coach, you faced Fernando last year at Cal, and I'm curious just what you remember about his performance in that game and what you would say about maybe his growth since that time to what he's doing
Well,
now?
you saw all the things that you see now, except the supporting cast right now is very different. Certainly the system is completely different, but you're looking at a massive physical, tough offensive line that is on point. They don't make mistakes. Their IDs are exactly what they need to be when they need to be that way. Their receivers are big time playmakers, and they do it with back shoulder, underthrown fades. They do it by running by you underneath, finding soft spots in zone coverage, and complemented by a very physical downhill run game and one that could circle you as well. So a guy like that in that system with that level of coaching, where I mean, he's been coached to continue to progress at such a high level. It's you see the player, you saw the talent last year. The supporting cast wasn't there yet, and they were a really good team, we thought. But this year, obviously, it's a whole different level with where he's at.
Well, Will, Chris, and then we'll go Tim.
All season long, whether it be to the media, to your players, that 1-0 mentality has just been your theme. When the 1-0 now means a national championship, what does that message mean to you? How does that resonate to the players? Like, how does it change this week, the 1-0 mentality?
Yes, sir. Well, Will, I don't think you make the game any heavier than what it is. I think it's really important that 1-0, earning 1-0 and earning the opportunity to cut it loose on game day, it's still a process, right? And it started last January and it carries over all the way through the course of the week. And you don't stray from that. The only thing you change of that is you just make it better and better each and every week. Like you really dig deep as a coach. Hey, how can I make this process better? But you don't go about based on a theme and a philosophy that has brought you, to this point and, to come this far, you don't stray from it to go farther. So we stay along the lines of what we've been doing.
Chris Versaken said you spoke about Fernando obviously a lot just now, but their offensive guys. Indiana on defense, just your impressions of them, what you've seen from them defensively.
They're the best overall team and best defense we have faced. I know that their rankings and anything statistically important are between 1 and 5. And it starts with this. They're really fast, physical, explosive, talented, and smart. They play with a lot of physicality, a lot of violence. They understand their scheme top to bottom. They make it very challenging, and I'll tell you why. They're multiple up front, they're multiple on the back end. And so the way that they understand what you're doing so well, they set up and line up in a manner where they challenge your IDs. They've done a great job confusing opponent offensive lines with how they line up and how they bluff and disguise what they're doing, not only in the front seven, but on the back end. That's a challenge with them. And you got to understand, these guys, they played a lot of games together. A lot of these guys came over from JMU. They went deep into the playoffs, right, a year ago. They've been in this system and have played a lot of ball together. And therefore, that's why you see the instantaneous reactions, right? The physicality and the way that the closing speed that they have on a down after down basis. And on top of all that, and I think it's really worth pointing out from a technique and fundamental standpoint, that's what really stands out to me because they play with their feet in the ground with great pad level and with elite use of their hands. They understand how to leverage the ball and what to do when they get there. And they, from a turnover margin standpoint, they're number one in the country, and they play great complementary football. You witnessed some of it, in their last game, but if you look throughout the course of the season, from the first series at Iowa to this last weekend with the pick six and the forced fumble and whatnot, they do a great job playing complementary football.
Wrap up with Tim.
To continue with the experience theme, Carson started 40-something games in his career. Obviously, you talk about here about the poise and the leadership he shows, but poise is one thing. Poise, when you have 3 minutes for your season, is a very different animal. When you look back at the drive, where does that calmness, that inner resolve, whatever you want to call it, come from, that he made every smart play he had to make to win the game with everything riding on?
Well, tribute to him, testament to him and his teammates. So many different things on that drive, right, that were executed at a high level. Handful of third downs that were not the easiest in the world, but elite protection, elite route running, contested catches, being hard to tackle, turning a 3rd and 12 to a 3rd and 7 instead, all those things, right? The margins, we always talk all year long, right? The margins get smaller and smaller and smaller as the year goes on. And the margins with 3 minutes to go and ball in hand were like this. And Obviously we want to play a cleaner game. There were some things that we know that we took a step back in pre-snap penalties, some post-snap IQ decisions, some alignment issues, which we feel great about correcting. But when it comes down to it, the resilience, the toughness, the fact that we just felt that that game, it just meant more to our guys, and they were going to find a way to get it done. But you have to execute, and they did. And I think all those Wednesdays, when we come out there and do 2 minute, which we've done now for the year, I believe 37, scenarios like that. And we go back and forth. Offense wins sometimes it's a defense. For them, it was routine.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate it, Brett. Thank you,
Thank you,
Katie.
guys. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thanks, everyone.